Hello everyone, this is Yelnut71, and today I'm going to show you how to clean a Sega Genesis controller. You may ask why you want to do this. Well, let's say you're playing Mortal Kombat and you try to do a special move and you dick around with your D-pad and nothing happens. You can't jump, or you can't punch, or you can't do...
Fuck! 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 Oh!
Okay, so anyway, basically what you're going to need here is some Q-tips, which I got over here, and some rubbing alcohol, which you can't see in the bottle because it's not even in the correct bottle, it's in the sprayer. Also, you're going to need a small tip screwdriver, because trust me, those screws are very small, and you're going to need a very fine one. On the Sega Genesis controller, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holy crap, I can count 6. 6 screws, okay? 6 screws. Let's just keep this going in real time here. Now, you might be probably asking too, what may cause a controller to not function? Well, there can be a lot of things. The easiest problem is the contacts are just dirty, just from years of use. The second one could be that the solder, or the soldering joints, whatever you want to pronounce solder or solder, could be bad, which would require more work, but that's definitely your for sure way fix if that's what's happening. But I can confirm that this controller is not broken. It's just, in fact, the buttons are sticky and they don't want to operate half the time. But that doesn't always mean that the contacts are bad too. It never always means contacts. It could actually be the rubber pads on the buttons itself too, which I will also go into detail of cleaning. But it's also very simple to clean too. I'll just see if the controller can separate now. It's still a little bit hooked on. I'll just quickly go around. You can also do this to every other controller. I know the NES and the Super Nintendo are kind of the same layout. Well, not exactly the same controller layout, but the same way of cleaning them. You just grab a Q-tip and you rub off the contacts and call it a day and plug it in and have a grand old boom time. Okay, so... Okay, I can tell it's the middle one. It doesn't want to retire yet. There you go. And so you'll see the contacts on the board here. You know, you got your ABC, and then you got your start, and then your up, left, right, down, because it can clearly say, except for right there, it doesn't even clearly say. You can see where the soldering joints are, and the main chip that handles all the complex things that I don't want to get into, because I don't fully understand it. Now into the board. As you can see, it's actually very, very clean, but as the game collector I am, I like to keep my things nice and clean. And half the cord is falling off the table. There we go. Now this should help. So it's actually very, very easy to clean. You just want to get out your Q-tips here. In case you don't know what a Q-tip is and you've been living under a rock, that's a Q-tip. Now, I have a sprayer just because it makes it easier. You can actually just literally, like, oh crap, it's dripping out. You can literally just pour some into your cap that came with your bottle and just dunk it in there, but I just personally like to spray it. If you do get away, just shake it off and just go by the contacts and rub. You don't have to rub really hard, just enough so you can clean it. Now, if your controller is actually to the point where you can actually physically see black crap, well, and you can actually see it on the Q-tip, then that means you're actually doing something and you're actually contributing to all gamers everywhere. So if you resell your damn controller, we don't have to go through this. I usually like to stay in one spot all the time, but usually I just get lazy and do both at the same time, which isn't very, very productive, because then that means you're just spreading on the black crud. I usually like to do one at a time, and then for the other side of the Q-tip, I'll do the other contact, like that, and then just continue on here. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's how hard I'm actually kind of rubbing it. It's not even that much dirty. Then once I use the full 2 sides, then I'll just grab out another one, do the same process. That one still is very much either dirty either, and I know it's out of focus, you can't see, but hopefully you have a good enough eye to figure that one out. You may be asking, should I dry off the rubbing alcohol? You can if you want to. Rubbing alcohol will evaporate in oxygen, air, the stuff we breathe, guys, okay? Get with the point here. yes, it will evaporate. However, though, if you're just really into making sure that you want to make sure that doesn't short out, because rubbing alcohol is flammable, but I'm pretty sure there would be no short in a damn controller. That'd be extremely sad if your house blew up just because you were rocking out in Mortal Kombat and then boosh, all that crap happened, isn't it? Nice. Same process for your A, B, and C and start. You may come to that one point where you actually might just want to go ahead and clean, you know, even the actual soldering connections, but that's just really unnecessary. And to be even perfectly more honest, when you use a Q-tip, which is not even, it's made out of kind of a wool, cotton kind of substance. Once you start mixing that with sharp points on the soldering joints, you kind of just rip the Q-tip apart, and then there's just really no point in doing it. So it's up to you if you want to go through the extra step, but my personal recommendation is just to resolder all the joints if you're actually going to go through that process. And there you go, the actual circuit board is clean. However, if you want to take to the extra process, you can clean the actual pads. And what I would even do too, but I'm not going to do this on video, I would actually purposely sink this in soap and water with rubbing alcohol mixture just to get the whole, the actual whole controller cleaned out, and the camera just kind of stopped because it's like, oh crap, it stopped. So anyway, but yeah, if I were you, I would definitely just go ahead and clean the whole controller, but just for the sake of this video and not to make it purposely long, I'm not going to do it. You will notice that on the D-pad it has a ball bearing sort of thing in it, and the black little buttons on there, those are actually what make contact on, you know, the contacts on the controller. So I would even go that extra mile. I would definitely recommend this, just to not give you any trouble, to go ahead and clean each of the buttons. You can personally just drown them in the rubbing alcohol, but for more detailed work you can just actually literally just get out your Q-tips and go rocking at that. So I'll go ahead and do that. I will let you know now that these are actually kind of made out of some kind of rubbery substance, so you may have a hard time trying to get off all the crap. So you can even see right there it's black, which is a good thing. I kind of went ahead and did that. That all contributes to the controller not working. Trust me, if you have the controller apart, you might as well do the whole thing, because it'll make things so much easier. You kind of notice too that the buttons are kind of falling out, but they're very easy to put in. You actually literally don't have to snap them in. They just kind of plop on place on top of the actual plastic buttons. And like I said, rubbing alcohol evaporates, so you don't have to worry much about it. The D-pad, I would also very recommend that you clean that too, because once again, once you have it out, you might as well clean it. And trust me, you use the D-pad more than almost anything else, because that's how you move your damn character on the screen. It would be very helpful if you just went ahead and cleaned that. But if you have time, go ahead and clean the controller, but I'm not going to do that for the sake of this video. Like that. I'm just going to try and brush that off with my finger just so it's not wet. Like that. And then you literally just plop it back in. There's a certain way for where the wiring goes. Well, the black cable, not the actual physical connections right there. It's actually just the black cable we're more concerned about. It kind of wraps around like this. Don't know if you can... Cripe almighty. There you go. You want to get it so it kind of bends in like that, and then just push it right in. And there's a little slot for where that sticks in. It should snap. And there you go, the controller will seat in. The reason why there's a bend there is that if you pull on the controller, it won't stress on the wires and break your wires. Or your one wire for that matter. And you just want to put the whole controller back together. If it doesn't want to slot in, mess around with the board a bit. You know, like I said, it's a little bit fussy. If you do take your time though, it should just fit right into place, but right now this one isn't going to, because it's being of a sourpuss. Actually, you know, it'd be easier just to take out all the damn screws. And I swear this will go in much more easier. And it does. Then you just put in all your screws. They don't matter where they go, they're all the same size. So no need to worry about that. tighten them down. I like to go into crisscross formation because then that means it won't bind much on the plastic. It gets an even tightening. What I mean by crisscross is if you get that a little bit snug, then you go to the other direct opposite side. I'm going to bring up a mechanics point here and say if you've done transmission work where you had to take out the transmission pan, you always go into crisscross formation. This is the same kind of basic concept where you get that a little bit snug, then you go to the other side and get that tightened down. Then once you go to the middle, then you go right to the opposite of that. Not very difficult, everyone can figure it out. Even Barney can, the dinosaur. He's a dinosaur for God's sakes. Hopefully you can figure this one out. Sometimes if they don't want to go in, you want to just back off a little bit and start from the beginning. And then it should go right in there, right in the hole. That sounded nasty. Like that. And there you go. You've cleaned the contacts on the controller. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.